To begin the first Fighters Guild quest, titled A Rat Problem, we find ourselves in the seaside city of Anvil, making our way to the sizable Fighters Guild Hall, a stone's throw from the North Gate. And it should quickly be noted that we shall be following the quest flowchart provided by the unofficial wiki, which provides an easy-to-follow path through the multiple ways to navigate the Fighters Guild questline. Once inside the hall, we see the Red Guard Knight, Azan in full plate, hacking at a training dummy with a two-handed axe, and he turns to greet.
I'm Azan, head of the Anvil Fighters Guild chapter, and advanced blunt weapons trainer.
Hail. Velena Daunton told me that you'd have a contract for me.
A contract for you? I think I've got something that suits your experience. Arvina Thillis has some problem with rats in her house.
I'm sorry. Did you say rats? Surely there's some mistake.
Yes, rats. I'm sure she can explain it to you better than I. She lives here in Anvil. Go and talk to her. Good luck. Go take care of the rats, then talk to me.
Being waved away by the guildmaster, we're more than a little concerned. Our first task for the guild is hunting down vermin, and the other guild members around the hall can be heard commenting.
Another rat job? Not me, no thanks. Let the bottom boot do the rats. Unless you want the gig.
This must be some initiation trial. Although ostensibly rat extermination seems a laughably easy quest to complete, rat catching and the Fighters Guild have an extensive history in the games, and deceptively holds multiple endings we shall explore in succession, including A. Finishing the quest as intended, B. Betraying the contract giver for a different reward, and C. Outright failing our first quest for the Fighters Guild and the consequences for our dishonourable action. But first, to begin the quest, exiting the guild hall, our quest updates. Azan has told me of a contract in Anvil with Arvina Thillis. I should speak to her about a problem with rats in her basement. Heading up Anvil's cobble path, we find the second building to our right to be Thillis' abode, looking for any entry points for rats. As to make quick work of this lowly assignment, we head around the back of the abode and find that something or someone has busted through the wall. No rat we've ever seen could have done this much damage. Looks like we're going to have to talk to Arvina. Knocking on the door, it appears nobody's home. Letting ourselves in, we light a torch to see around the two-story house. The bottom floor contains a sizable living room and reading area, holding many foodstuffs left out in the open. If there's one thing we know about rats, it's they would probably eat this food as soon as this Arvina goes to bed. Strange if they've made their way through the back of the building. They haven't torn their way through the basement door. Ascending the stairs to our left, we move through a small sitting room and into Arvina's bedroom. It's there we find an aging dark elf who exclaims,
"Oh, my poor little rats!"
Arvina Thillis, I've been sent to help. Did you say poor rats?
Ah, you must be from the Fighters Guild. Good, I have a problem. It has to do with the rats in my basement.
Yes, I'm here to take care of the rats in the basement.
That's right. Rats in my basement, and something's been killing them. It's horrible. My poor babies. You must do something. I don't know what I'd do without them. Their little pink noses, their scaly little tails. Please get to the basement and find out what's happening.
Wait, you keep vermin in your basement? As pets? I bet your neighbors love you.
You can't imagine the fuss some people make. My rats are no problem for anyone. Please save my little rats.
And to think, we thought ourselves the exterminator, but are now on rat-saving duty. Avina's questionable love of the furry rodents is a topic of discussion and disgust among the townsfolk, as they can be heard saying.
Arvina Thillis is an odd one. I've heard some strange noises coming from her basement. She's a nut. Whatever's going on in that house, I don't want to know about it.
That woman is a bit off-kilter. I don't even want to know what she's got in her basement.
Looking around Avina's open-plan bedroom, we see valuables and trinkets lying around, but know that we would be ejected from the Fighters Guild if we stole from her. Thinking it best to keep our hands to ourselves if we want to stay in the Fighters Guild, we make our way to the basement and note in our journal. Avina Thelis has rats in her basement, but they're not the problem. She loves the rats, but she's finding them dead. She would like me to go down and investigate what's been happening. Which brings us to the basement itself. Waltzing down to the basement, torch lit, we hear a commotion and find the rats being attacked by a mountain lion. Now, just to be clear, at lower levels and higher difficulties, this mountain lion is starving and an exceptional predator and should not be underestimated. Otherwise, creeping down to the basement, torch doused and sword in hand, we attack the starving mountain lion, opening its belly before it can get its fill of rat or man alike. Our quest then updates. I've killed a mountain lion in Avina Thelis' basement. They must be sneaking in through a hole in the wall somewhere. I should tell Avina what has happened. Indeed, just as we had suspected, we head over to the northwestern part of the room and see a hole in the wall is busted wide open. The boards don't look too firmly secured, and perhaps the mountain lion smelled the rats and clawed its way in. Whatever the case, it's taken care of now, and the rats are free to frolic around their sizable sanctuary in the basement, complete with tomatoes, leeks, water, and an extremely generous amount of cheese. Heading back upstairs, noting in our journal, I've killed a mountain lion in Avina Thelis' basement. They must be sneaking in through a hole in the wall somewhere. I should tell Avina what has happened.
Oh, my poor little rats. Well, what have you found? Did you take care of my babies? What was going on down there?
Look, it seems that there was a hole in the wall in your basement and a mountain lion had wriggled its way in. It was pretty tough, but it's taken care of now.
A mountain lion? In my basement? But how? That's not possible. But it happened. What if there are more? What if it wasn't alone? Where there's one, there will be more. Find Pinarus Inventius. He's a hunter and knows this area inside and out. He'll know what to do. Please, go find Pinarus and those mountain lions.
Well, I don't think there's any more mountain lions. But seeing as you're paying, I'll go see the guildmaster, see what he says. Exiting Thelis' abode, we note in our journal, Avina Thelis was glad to know what was killing her rats, but she still doesn't feel safe. She'd like me to speak with Pinarus Inventius about hunting down mountain lions in the area. Heading back to the guild hall, Azan seems adamant that we still help Avina past our original commission.
You need to help Arvina Thelis with her rat problem. What's on your mind?
Well, the problem is, we went to Avina's house. She said she had a rat problem, but it turns out it was a mountain lion. We killed the mountain lion because the rats are her pets. Now she wants us to exterminate all mountain lions in the area. When's it going to end?
Go take care of the rats, then talk to me.
As Azan, dedicated to his training, hacks at the dummy, we quickly realize he didn't hear a word we said. And so, dejected, it seems we have no choice but to exterminate all of the mountain lions in the area with the help of this Pinarus Inventius. However, finding this huntsman Pinarus Inventius is not as easy as we first thought, although when heading to the Count's Arm Inn, the locals will gossip.
I saw that Pinarus Inventius was out hunting again. He can shoot a bird on the wing without really trying.
Pinarus Inventius is quite the hunter. He can track about anything, and he's deadly with his bow.
You could learn a lot from Pinarus.
It's only when heading to the south of town and searching the docks looking at a large lighthouse, which definitely doesn't hold an ominous secret of the Dark Brotherhood, which we explore in the full video linked at the end of this one, do we find an elderly Imperial woman who's violently painting said lighthouse as if she's angry. Speaking to her, she greets,
Astia Inventius, wife of the woodsman Pinarus Inventius. Always out hunting. Anything to avoid doing a little work around the house.
Ah, you're Inventius's wife. I've heard good things about him and his hunting. You're not a fan, I take it?
Well, if you don't mind scruffy sailors smelling like bilge, it's a lovely town. The men are all the same, drunk and shiftless.
Now, the reason that Astia Inventius is so mad at Pinarus, which we shall explore further once we find the huntsman. After sharing that Pinarus can be found out by the North Gate during the day, Astia then shares of our Dark Elf quest giver.
Arvina Thelis is an odd one. I've heard some strange noises coming from her basement. Good day.
Making our way out of Anvil's North Gate during the gloom of a foggy afternoon, we locate an older Imperial huntsman holding a fur shield and in iron armor and question. Pinarus Inventius, I take it.
Pinarus Inventius, hunter, woodsman, and marksman at your service.
Funnily enough, even though he introduces himself as a marksman, he doesn't possess a bow and arrow, which we shall also discuss soon enough. However, for now, we question, what animals do you hunt locally around the city?
Plenty of deer, wolf, boar, mountain lion, bear in the county. Just need to know where to look for them.
There's been a mountain lion spotted in somebody's house inside the city walls. Avinathelis sent me to request your aid in exterminating them before they attack our rats some more.
Mountain lions? Here? Odd. If they're around, I can find them. Come with me. A hunt will do us good and maybe make that old nut feel better. Let's go hunting.
Heading west up the Gold Road, Pinarus begins to march up the path. If we stop him to say, where exactly are we heading? He simply responds,
Let's see if we can't find those mountain lions. Let's go hunting.
Seeing as Inventius doesn't possess a bow and arrow, we equip our own as backup for the Imperial, and a Black Horse courier approaches on horse to compliment.
You have the eyes of a trained marksman.
Well, one of us has to, and old Pinarus looks like he's lost his bow. Following along, we note in our journal. Pinarus has agreed to look for mountain lions with me. If we find them, we'll kill them and make Arvina feel safer. Dousing our torch and begin to stalk behind the Imperial as he does a sharp turn to his left and then beckons.
If they're out here, they'll be in this area. I can't imagine there are more than 4 of them. Let's take care of this.
Notching an arrow, we then spy in the distance a few mountain lions loitering in an alcove, and as we loose an arrow, Pinarus, to his credit, meets them in open combat.
Die, damn you! This ends here!
With all of the mountain lions dead, Inventius approaches to update.
I think that'll be all of them. Can't imagine more in this area. You can go tell Arvina this is all taken care of. Good hunting.
Looking at Pinarus's poor arm as we've winged him with an arrow, the tough old Imperial just instructs.
Better go talk to old Arvina.
Speaking of Pinarus getting winged, let's talk about his missing bow and why his wife was in such a sore state. See, Pinarus had been rather naughty, finding himself entangled in another of Anvil's more salacious quests titled The Siren's Deception, which we covered the tale on the channel and will be linked at the end of this video. Unfortunately, during said quest, we learn Pinarus was unfaithful to his wife and became a victim of the clever local Sirens gang, though he never appeared to have reported the robbery to the Anvil City Watch. Now, we can find items that were stolen off him at the Sirens' hideout, Gweden Farm, including his wife's necklace, his iron cuirass, his shirt, and his prized Minotaur horn. Though there's no way to give them back to him, perhaps one of the gals had already hocked his prized bow during their crime spree spree, hence why he decided to use a sword on the mountain lions. That sordid tale aside, as the huntsman begins to skin all of the mountain lions for their pelts as recompense for his aid, we find in the south corner of their den a skeleton of a poor townsman, no doubt being consumed by the mountain lions. But all of the available food sources nearby, and their ability to fell a human easily, why was the mountain lion starving that was found inside the city walls? With our duty done, we head back to Anvil, a note in our journal. We've killed all the mountain lions Pinnerus believes are in the area. I should return to Arvina Thelis. Inside her bedroom where we left her, the dark elf fusses.
Oh, my poor little rats. You've got to take care of those mountain lions.
Listen, don't worry. I've taken care of all of the mountain lions. Pinnerus and Ventius helped me exterminate all of them. Again, there are no more mountain lions in or around Anvil, okay?
You think you've gotten rid of them all? You do? Well, you haven't. There's one in my basement right now. Go get it.
What? Where? Stunned at the revelation. Our quest updates. I've told Arvina about the mountain lions, but she doesn't believe her problem is solved, as there's a mountain lion in her basement now. I'll have to kill it. Inside the basement, we learn from our excursion with Pinnerus and equip our bow, silently stalking our way down the steps and find, indeed, a mountain lion is attempting to eat the poor rats. Losing a single arrow, the mountain lion lay dead. And concerningly, Arvina was right. Making our way back to the Dark Elf's bedroom, Arvina becomes overcome with panic.
Like the gods, you killed that thing. This is ridiculous. Someone's out to get me, to get my poor babies. I'll bet it's that Quillweave next door.
Quillweave? You mean the Argonian? Isn't she an author? Why would she want your rats dead?
She's the one. She's never liked me or my sweet little pets. I know it's her. I've even seen her sneaking around in back of my house at night. She thinks she's so smart. She and all the other women. I'll show her. I want you to keep an eye on her. Find out what she's up to.
As the plot becomes more complicated, we're sent on an errand to find this Quillweave, a note in our journal. Arvina now believes that her neighbour Quillweave might be responsible. Arvina has seen her sneaking around outside the house at night. I should watch Quillweave and see what she's doing. I should not let Quillweave see me though, lest she gets suspicious. Making our way to Quillweave's home next to the Count's Arms, we bump into the Argonian chatting with a local guard. She then turns to admire.
Goodbye. Bye.
Hello.
Look at the muscles on you. My name's Quillweave. I've had some success selling stories about the lives of the lower and criminal classes.
As she has confirmed her vocation, this is a good time to note Quillweave is a well-known author, although she has no publishings in-game. The residents of Anvil, however, may be overheard saying,
I've never read any of Quillweave's writings. I've heard they're fairly good, though.
And
She travels a lot to research her books. She's in great shape from all that travel. Maybe she'd teach me a bit about getting into shape.
so, she knows something about athleticism and authoring. However, how does she feel about Anvil?
Between the sailors and shipmen of the port and my little local circle of friends, I have plenty of yarns for knitting up my tales.
Tales, you say? Do you know any good stories about mountain lion attacks?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're accusing me of, but don't do it without any proof. Be seeing you.
Guilty or not, clearly Quillweave isn't going to show her hand unless we have proof, as she said. So as instructed, we make our way to the back of Thelis' abode and find a jutting part of the ramparts that we hide against, waiting until nightfall. After 8 p.m, we see a figure silently sleuthing behind the fence, making their way towards the hole in the ground. when we make out the figure is Quillweave, noting quickly. I've seen Quillweave leaving meat outside Arvina Thelis' house. This must be what is attracting the mountain lions into town and into Arvina's basement. I should confront Quillweave. As the rude reptile attempts to depart, we jump out from behind the pillar, yelling, "Gotcha, you scaly wench!"
Yes? What can I do for you?
Well, you don't scare easy, do you? Unless you want a second, less pleasant chat with the guards. I saw you outside Arvina's house.
You what? Well, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. I would never go skulking about.
Really? What's that rotten meat smell on your hands?
Fine, you've got me. I figured if I left some rotten meat outside, the nasty little things would come out, and the guards would take care of them.
What, you figure a nice little mountain lion's gonna kill the rats and Thelis and you'll get away with it? It's pretty sick.
Mountain lions? In her basement? I just wanted to lure her vermin outside. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, except the rats. Please, don't tell her. And if you can keep this our little secret, I can make it worth your while. There's a bit about acrobatics I can teach you. Give it some thought.
Her quest then updates. I've confronted Quillweave and she's admitted to trying to kill off Arvina's rats. She has promised to stop and has asked me not to tell Arvina what she's done.
Take care.
Now, as you'd imagine, this gives us 3 distinct paths to explore. The first is telling Arvina, the second betraying Arvina, and the third completely failing the quest. Returning to Thelis, she then laments.
Oh, my poor little rats. So, did you follow her? She's behind it, isn't she? Tell me what you found out.
Deciding to become a rat, we snitch. You're right. The women of this town can't be trusted. It was Quillweave behind it.
I knew it. That swit. Oh, I'll get her. You just wait. Must have taken some fast talking to get her to confess.
Maybe I can teach you a little bit more about how to talk to people. And of course, here's the payment for the contract. Thank you.
This then concludes our quest, and we're given 1 level boost in Speechcraft, +1 to Fame, and 100 gold, which is a leveled amount.
Oh, my rats are so cute!
Finding Quillweave on the street, though, she's not too fond of our penchant for ratting on her.
You told her. What have you done? I'll be ruined. Oh, thanks a lot.
Interestingly, as Quillweave is an acrobatics trainer, she will still be available to train in acrobatics. However, she'll call us a rat every time we speak to her, no matter how high our disposition is.
What do you want, you rat?
Our second option is to betray Arvina Thelis, reporting.
So, did you follow her? She's behind it, isn't she? Tell me what you found out.
No, it wasn't Quillweave. Your paranoia is getting the best of you, unfortunately. She has nothing to do with it.
She didn't, huh? But you've taken care of the problem, and I suppose that's what counts. Thanks for that. Here's your payment.
Arvina will then give us 100 gold and +1 to Fame. However, to get the second part of our reward, we need to visit Quillweave as our quest updates. I've told Arvina Thelis that the problem has been solved and she's paid me for the contract. I should see Quillweave and tell her I've protected her secret. Outside, on the bridge near the castle, the wandering Argonian turns to reward.
So, you didn't sell me out. I appreciate that. Well, I said I'd make it worth your while. So let me teach you a little something. You've got to be light on your feet to make it around here, and that's something I'm good at. Maybe you can be too. Take care.
With our quest complete, we now have 1 level boost in acrobatics. But, as promised, what happened if we failed the quest outright? Well, during the several times we were sent down into Arvina Thelis' basement, instead of simply killing the mountain lion, we could be bored of our contract and fry the rats along with a pesky lion for our trouble. Not before pausing to admire Oblivion's very jiggly physics. It's almost hypnotic. Returning to a distraught Thelis, she accuses.
What did you do to my little rats?
My rats are all dead. It's too late to do any more. I won't be needing your services any longer.
We then receive no reward for the quest, nor fame, failing to aid our contract giver.
Useless Fighters Guild. What do you want?
Oh, the poor little rats.
Now, before we return to the Fighters Guild with the news, as promised, there's a bonus little Easter egg attached to the quest being quests involving rats specifically have been a running theme for early involvement in the Fighters Guild since Daggerfall. For example, the Fighters Guild quest in Morrowind involves a lady named Durarane Thelis. Related? Who has a rat problem of a different sort.
These rats are such a nuisance. I'm worried they'll eat all of my pillows. You like pillows, don't you?
Now, this connection is also implied by a rumour shared by guild members after the quest is initiated, as they're heard saying,
Rats? They've got Fighters Guild people out killing rats? You're kidding, right? It's always rats for the new associates. Is it some initiation test or something?
Returning to the Fighters Guild Hall, we see the members in full force and training, and before speaking to Azan, one by one they introduce and tell us about the city of Anvil. Perhaps feeling bad for us in our rat assignment.
Hi, Rano. I'm Anvil's advanced trainer in blade weapons. I worry sometimes I'll go soft here. Training mostly and living easy. So now and then, I go out along the coast on my own just to stay in shape. Go hurt something.
Herwin of the Fighters Guild, health and fortune. Get outside of town if you get a chance and hike north along the coast. Great views and good hunting. Go hurt something.
Heh. Everyone calls me Sten the Ugly. I got tired of beating people up for it. So go ahead, live it up. Notice all the Nords around here? It's partly because Nords like ships and sailing. Mostly, we're sick of freezing. Go to it.
You look like a bright one. Vigdis, Fighters Guild. Are you kidding? I came here to get away from the mountains and snow. You ever spent a winter in Skyrim? Or Bruma? Give me the Gold Coast any day. Take care.
I'm Rufrius Venetius, Fighters Guild hand-to-hand trainer. You're not from around here, are you? Just a warning, be careful if you go swimming. It's the slaughterfish. They'll swarm you. Farewell.
It's you. Hi.
Lency Lorum, Fighters Guild, through and through. I'm from Morrowind, north coast of Vardenfell, near Cool. So I like it here on the Gold Coast. Sometimes I miss home, but not too much. Go to it.
Meeting the Guild Hall Master as he sits in his office, Azan greets.
I hope I can help.
Now, it should be noted, the Fighters Guild probably gets paid an upfront fee before we take on a contract, as we're not punished or rewarded no matter which way we decided to finish the quest, even failing outright. Instead, we can even ask Azan about advancement, and he'll state,
You've done well so far. I hereby promote you to apprentice. Good luck. You too.
Now questionably gifted the rank of apprentice, we wonder if the guild is so desperate for new members, heading out onto Anvil streets. But why they need members, we shall soon learn. Thanks for watching. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps out immensely. And if you want to help the channel in a more personal way, consider becoming a Patreon member. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, Traveller.